And then also because ours has that patented remote that's bigger and has only the 11 buttons. That really separates us from everybody else.
Yes.
And I was their top salesperson by the end of the first year. And my boss bought himself a Porsche with my last deal. And my ex-husband at the time said, did he have anything to do with your deals? They really do advocate for the patient. And rather than making the patient have to, or the senior even have to learn tech, they've made the tech easy.
Stay connected with the ones you love. OdessaConnect makes video calls, messages, and updates as easy as pressing a button. No apps, no stress, just connection.
Welcome back to the Let's Get Comfy podcast. I am Norman Harris, your host, owner and CEO of Comfort Measures Consulting. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting. We have a wonderful special guest here today, Miss Traci Lamb. She's a community liaison, entrepreneur, caregiver, a world leader. Thank you for joining us today, Miss Lamb. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad to be here.
It's an honor. And the tradition on this show, we allow our guests to introduce themselves. I always start off with putting individuals in the care arena in an odd situation because we typically don't like talking about ourselves. But if you would, show your accolades, credentials, and brag a little bit.
It is hard to do. Well, like you said, my name is Traci Lamb, and I've been in the caregiving space for probably about 25 years. And I have worked in it, been a caregiver, done a lot of different things. My background is pretty diverse. I was in law, and then I was in recruiting, and then I got into healthcare. So I have a pretty diverse background. I have won several awards with my own businesses, both with my recruiting business and with my caregiving business. I won several awards. I was named top recruiter in the country, and I was named the #1 CEO in the caregiving business in the Southeast. So I've won several different awards. I love caring for others. I love caring specifically for people that are in the aging space. It's very dear to me. So I get very, very passionate about any product or service that can help those that are trying to age at home. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
All right. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot. So before we get kicked off here, I'd like to tell the audience how you and I connected and how we met. But I want you to say it, though.
Yeah. I met Norman through LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been really wonderful for me.
Same.
I've never paid for it, so I've always done the free service. And so I just find people that I think are interesting and that I think might have the same passion that I do for seniors and for helping the senior community. And that's how I saw Norman. And then I didn't even realize we lived close to each other. And then he invited me to be for us to meet personally. And I was like, oh my goodness, we actually live in the same town. So that was really cool. So I think it's great. But LinkedIn has been amazing for me, for sure.
Yes. Wonderful professional platform. Great place for people to connect. Audience out there, look Miss Traci Lamb and myself up on LinkedIn as well. But if you don't have one, you want to grow your career, you want to be able to connect with individuals, get your LinkedIn account, free version like your boy, Ms. Lamb. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to reverse back in time, a little life segment with you. Okay.
Sure.
Just throughout your life, you've made incredible impact, as you indicated, awards. Just think about what has stayed the same about you throughout your life.
I think I love to learn. I love to learn new things. I'm always striving to better myself. I'm always wanting to learn new ways that can not only help me grow, but that can help me to help the other people that I serve. Because I guess I really, at the ultimate core of me, I have a servant's heart. And so I really love serving other people. And so that has been, even when I was in the recruiting business, I felt like I was serving other people through recruiting. I was helping the companies get a great candidate,
Right.
and I was helping the candidates get a great job. So for me, it's always been gone back to that.
Gotcha. Always caring,
Yep.
always being willing to serve, but also help people reach new milestones, but also open them up to resources too.
Correct.
That's really good, really good. So in life, who would you say most influential people that have the impact on your life today?
By far, probably the most influential person in my personal life was my mom, for more than one reason. She was a great mom. I was very blessed. I had a great mom. She was a stay-at-home mom. She got to stay at home with us kids, and she was a very godly woman, and so that impacted my life a lot. And she always loved unconditionally. She really taught me what unconditional love was, and that was really, really amazing to me. Professionally, probably one of the people that professionally helped me the most was a guy by the name of Kevin McRitchie. Kevin is the CEO and founder of a company called Tactical Rehab. He actually was on my board for my caregiving company. And he mentored me a lot when I got into owning my own company. And so he really helped me a lot as well.
Okay. Well, good. Just a shout out to Mr. Kelvin, and thank you for sharing that as well. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Huntsville, Alabama. I only lived there till I was 2.
Okay.
But my dad was born here in Florida and wanted to come back to Florida. So I've lived in Florida the majority of my life. I have lived some other places, lived in Dallas, lived in North Carolina for a while, lived in Vegas for 9 months. That was crazy.
Okay.
But Florida has always been home. Florida's always been really where friends and family. I went to college here, so Florida's always been home base.
So you can't slide by that Vegas. Why was Vegas crazy?
Vegas was crazy. It's one of those places, I tell people, it's a fun place to visit. You don't necessarily want to live there because it's a crazy place, but it is a fun place. It is a fun place for sure. There's a lot to do there for sure.
Anything you did crazy in Vegas?
Yeah. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Hello, I'm Norman Harris, owner and CEO of Comfort Measures Consulting. We are a healthcare resource platform that specializes in business development for independently, privately owned healthcare organizations. Let's partner together to support your business growth through strategic digital marketing and community engagement. You can DM us, call us, text me. I'm here for you. We're ready to serve you. Thank you.
But it could absolutely be beneficial for corporate to know, okay, our people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So there's several different ways that we can do that. We can also white label it, so we can actually make it to where there are only, like right now when it pops up on the screen, it says OdessaConnect and our logo. But if it said, I'll just say Comfort Keepers just because it's a big corporation. So if Comfort Keepers was using it, and they wanted to white label it, then when Odessa came on to all their patients, it would say Comfort Keepers and their logo.
Wow.
So we can do that. So there's lots of different things like that, little things like that we can do to kind of personalize it to the company. And whatever kind of ways they want to personalize it, we can do that.
That is really good. And that's a great way for independent healthcare owners out there. We understand the healthcare market here in Florida, right? We're in like the retirement central of America almost.
We are.
So great way to separate your organization from your competitors. Be the first, right? Be the
Absolutely.
First. Yes.
Well, and ours is separated just because of the fact that the 2 or 3 others that do utilize the TV, most of those are not HIPAA compliant, which is by law you have to do that, be HIPAA compliant for telehealth visits. And then also because ours has that patented remote that's bigger and has only the 11 buttons.
11 buttons.
That really separates us from everybody else.
Yes. All right. So from Huntsville, Alabama, you've touched on a lot of different cities, right? Visited. What's your most, city you think you probably love the most?
I really loved, I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina for about a year and a half, and I really loved Raleigh. I thought they had perfect weather, beautiful city. The city itself was just gorgeous, really nice place to live. I would love to go back and live there, but the taxes are horrible. And I'm spoiled in Florida where we don't have taxes, so it does make a difference.
Yeah, we do. But we had the heat down here.
Yeah, we got the heat here for sure.
Oh man. So looking back, what's one important lesson from your childhood that you still carry with you today?
I would probably say the biggest one that I learned was that they taught me to rely on God. I grew up in a Christian home, and my parents started taking us to church from a young age. And when I went through a lot of really tough times in the last 2 to 3 years, I really had to lean on God in order to get through them. Because honestly, I joked with my mom and my dad. My mom, I said, I now understand at times why people can turn to alcohol or drugs when times get really, really difficult.
Yes.
It becomes overwhelming at times. Really overwhelming. And honestly, if I had not had my faith to lean back on, I would have had a really, really, really tough time. So that was probably the core thing that they taught me. And I really didn't understand it and get it until probably the last 2 or 3 years when I really, really needed it.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Sure. Yeah.
So from a caregiver, I know you personally, we've talked as well, but I would love for you if you would share with our audience here today your personal caregiver story.
Oh, sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm one of 3 kids. I'm the middle child, older sister, younger brother. And my older sister, Denise, she died in a car accident 20 years ago now. And she left a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old. And my younger brother died 7 years ago from alcoholism. So when he died, that left just me and mom and dad. And I got divorced in 2019. I moved in with mom and dad in 2020 just because COVID hit. And so in 2021, my dad got really sick. And so I started taking care of him, and he ended up passing away in February 22. And he and mom had been married for 60 years. And mom couldn't, I know it was a long time. And mom could not take care of herself at all. And so she moved in with me, and I took care of her until she passed away in January of this year.
Wow.
So, and it was a hard, I never understood caregiving. I had worked for hospice a long time. I heard a lot of caregivers talk about caregiving and everything, but I never really understood it. Mm-hmm. And I could talk the talk, is what I tell people, but I had not walked the walk. Mm. And it is very, 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 very different when you walk the walk. It was hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Without a doubt, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And there were days, just like I've heard people say, and I never understood it, but I do now. There were days when you wake up and you don't want to do today. You're just like, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do this today. I just want to pull the covers over my head and say, forget it. I don't want to do this today. But that's not an option. It's kind of like when you have kids, you're like, okay, I don't want to parent today. Today is, I want a day off. Right. And you don't get a day off. You have to, because that person is relying on you and you're all they've got. And I felt a very heavy responsibility when my father died, and with my sister and brother being gone, that I truly was all my mother had. And my father didn't leave a lot of money. And so it became my responsibility.
Right. What do you say most thing that you probably lost during that time? Just whether it's your personal life, professional life, during that span of being that caregiver?
I think you lose your own self in a way, because you're so absorbed in them, because your every waking thought is, okay, are they okay? Or do they need me? I did not really sleep deeply for 5 years. The 5 years that I was caregiving for my mom and my dad, I did not really sleep deeply. I couldn't shut my door. or anything, because if they needed me in the middle of the night, I was the one that had to get up and go see if they were okay, or call the cops, or call the not the cops, but call the ambulance, or call whatever, in order to be able for them to be okay. So you really can't relax. You stay keyed up and nervous and worried all the time.
So no trips?
No, I didn't take. I took no vacations for 5 years. I literally just took my first vacation like a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
And it was so weird because it was so hard for me to relax. It was so hard because I'm so used to being on all the time that it's very weird for me to not feel like still that I have to call and check on mom, or is she okay? Is she all right? You know, I mean, it's very hard. It is really a transition. I've heard that and I never believed it, but now that I'm walking through it, it's true.
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it is. That's a lot. And then to do it for 5 years too. That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people, you know, these people that do it even longer than that, they do caregiving, you know, 10, 15 years, you know, for dementia patients or whatever. You know, I am amazed that they can do that. Right. I tell people all the time, God knew my threshold, and He knew. It was like, okay, Traci's not going to be able to take much more of this. So,
so what resources you'd say that you know about now after the fact, right? That you wish you would have known at the start of your caregiver journey with your parents?
Oh my goodness, there's so many that I found out about. I actually recently just found out about a company that I just absolutely love. My mother would try and fix things around the house, and it drove me absolutely crazy. And my father was not a handyman at all in any way, shape, or form. He was a salesman, which is where I get mine, but he could not do anything.
Me either.
There's a company called True Blue Ally, and True Blue Ally has franchises all across the country, and they do handyman stuff for seniors.
True Blue.
Isn't that amazing? I think that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
I thought that was incredible.
Let me think about it. I think someone from True Blue reached out to me like last year. I can't remember. Yeah. They're going to make me look it up now. Yeah,
True Blue is, and of course, OdessaConnect, who I work for now, is another one that I wish I had known about, especially with my dad. My mom got to use Odessa some before she died, and she absolutely loved it. I mean, it was hilarious. She just was like, okay, Traci, you can get rid of everything else. This is what I like this.
So what is OdessaConnect? Sure.
So OdessaConnect is a platform that turns any TV into a two-way communication tool. It's HIPAA compliant, so it can do healthcare. You can do healthcare video visits on it. The great thing is it has a patented remote that has only 11 buttons. It's amazing. That's what my mom loved the best, was the remote.
11 buttons,
Yes. And she was like, here, you can throw all the rest of those remotes away. I just want this one remote. You can throw all the rest of those away. And it has a free caregiver app that's available on Google and Android and Apple. And you can basically do videos on the TV. You can send photos. You can do like messages, so it's almost like email. So it basically becomes like a giant iPad. Your TV becomes like a giant iPad. And they now, actually, I just found out a week ago, we are now going to be rolling out in the next few months a fantastic gaming feature.
Okay.
So it's going to be a really cool gaming feature for seniors that they can do on the TV, which is going to be absolutely amazing. But it's awesome. Literally, with the click of one button, the senior is connected by audio and video and can do videos.
Wow.
So it's one button, and they literally, and then when they're ready to go back watch TV, they just click the button for TV, and they can go back to watching TV.
Right.
So it's that.
Okay. All right, and we'll continue after this comfy comedy moment. We're going to definitely get back in and talk about Odessa today, but we're going to take a small little pause here.
Sure.
All right, we have a little game that we're going to play with you, all right?
Okay.
All right. So it's called, and it's for, we say here at the Let's Get Comfy podcast, thank you, that we believe in comfortability all over the globe. All right, so I'm gonna hand you this globe here.
Okay.
You do 3 spins.
Okay.
All right, and then you stop it with your finger.
Okay.
Wherever your finger land, I have some questions for you. All right.
All right.
Here you go. So 3 spins for me.
3 spins. Okay. Well, if I hold it correctly here. 1,
Comfy all over the globe.
2. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you gotta use that wrist now. Come on now.
All right.
There we go.
There we
Rolling.
go.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3. All right.
boom.
There we go. Okay. So here we go. So, let's see. I landed on India.
India. Okay.
I landed on India.
Have you ever visited India?
I have not.
Okay. What do you know about India?
Well, not a lot. I do have some friends that are from India.
Okay.
So there you go. And I do, I have had Indian food.
Indian food. Okay. I know Indian food is a lot of spices, right?
It does have a lot of spices.
Right.
Yes.
Turmeric.
Yes, and curry.
Curry. Okay. Favorite Indian dish?
Oh goodness. They have something called buttery chicken that's actually pretty good. So yeah, I've had that, and that's actually really good.
Wow.
So yeah, but Indian food is pretty good. Yeah, it's actually.
I went to a restaurant here in Tampa, like an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
They had this like a spongy type of I don't know, you can't really call it bread, but you can basically eat it with anything. It has like a
I think it's called naan.
Naan, okay.
Naan.
If we
it looks kind of like pita bread.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's no, it's really thin.
Yeah, it's real thin.
Super thin and spongy, like almost.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
I went there. Dr. Petty took us there. So it was so good though. Thank you for playing the game, Comfy Moment with us. I appreciate it. But I definitely want to get back into talking about OdessaConnect.
Yeah.
What led you to joining the team?
It's a great organization. The guy that created the product really has a passion for helping the seniors that he created it for. And that was one of the things that I loved about it, is the fact that it's not just, let's just see how many of these we can sell. It's about actually helping the people.
Yes.
And that's what I'm all about. So for me, I loved finding a company that's what they love doing, is really helping people. And we've been able to do that.
Yes. And just from my personal experience working in healthcare as well, there were so many family members I come across that, either live out of state, and they're trying to get in contact with their loved one, but mom never answers the phone.
Yep.
You go into mom's room,
Yep.
It's right there on the bedside table, the phone there, and then missing all the calls. But you had the ability to connect with them.
Through
your
their
name
TV.
pop up on the television. They can just hit OK. You pop up there. You can see them, video chat right there. So it's a great way. Even telemed visits as well.
Yeah. But there's 2 other quick things. One is that even like if daughter lives in Seattle, mom lives in Florida, daughter at Christmas time could set up her tablet right next to the Christmas tree, and mom could watch Christmas on the TV screen. The other thing is we actually have the capabilities of taking vitals through the TV. So if daughter lives in Seattle and mom lives in Florida, we can actually take the vitals, and so daughter can actually see those vitals daily if she wants to. And so that can really give the caregiver peace of mind.
So that remote patient monitoring feature.
Yes.
Great. Then does it come with any devices like the
Yes,
RPM?
it comes through. It comes with 5 devices. They can take their weight, their temperature, their blood pressure, their pulse, and one other one, I forget what it is. But they can definitely take all 5 of those, and the person doesn't have to like read the thermometer or anything like that. They put it up to their head, and as soon as the thermometer gets a reading, it immediately shoots it to the box, and the reading then goes directly to the caregiver app. So they don't even have to look and see, well, I think it's 95.8. They don't have to do that. It's automatically goes to the caregiver app. And there's a whole dashboard that they'll be able to see.
Whole dashboard. So that's one of the features that I like, is the dashboard. With the app, you can go right on the app, see the updates, track. Actually, it can actually give that information and data also to the physician, providers as well. So it really helps out overall, just staying connected with your family member, from checking on their health side, but also not allowing them to miss those wonderful moments, right? Those
Absolutely.
So I definitely am an advocate of OdessaConnect, and it aligns, like you said, with both of our missions as well.
Absolutely.
So my next question to you is, what advice would you offer individuals looking to make meaningful impact in the caregiver and healthcare sector?
The thing is that I do think you have to find something or some way, whether it's a product or a service, that you can support by doing that, and really be able to reach people. For me, that's again, I go back to the OdessaConnect just because it's such a really good example for me,
Right.
and I live it. But they live what they say.
Practice what
They
they
really
preach,
do
yeah.
advocate for the patient, and rather than making the patient have to, or the senior even have to learn tech, they've made the tech easy.
Easy, yes.
And so that's what really needs to be done. Unfortunately, a lot of people are like, okay, well, we'll teach them. And older people don't want to learn tech. They grew up in a certain way, and tech seems too difficult. I know it for both of my parents. Just email was a lot.
Right.
So it's like, okay, and this is very, 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 very simple, and it's in their world.
Right.
Everybody watches TV. So that was really, really, I love the fact that they're advocating for the actual patient.
Right. So we're going to take it even deeper into, like, for assisted living facility or home care agency.
Yeah.
How could that be beneficial for the clients there, for ALF and the home care agency? Yeah.
Oh yeah. In fact, we've actually just made a video about how it can help home health agencies. Is 2 or 3 different ways. First of all, as far as the actual caregiver coming out to their, they could actually do a quick video call. The caregiver could do, the caregiver that's coming to the home could do a quick video call, or send a quick message through the Odessa and say, oh, I'm on my way, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And that way the patient is aware. The actual corporation could actually know and check on the actual caregiver actually being there, like they're supposed to be there, which at times can be a little bit of a hiccup. And they could actually either have the caregiver check in when they through the Odessa when they actually get there to the home,
right?
Or check in when they leave. Either way, but it could absolutely be beneficial for corporate to know, okay, our people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So there's several different ways that we can do that. We can also white label it, so we can actually make it to where there are only, like right now when it pops up on the screen, it says OdessaConnect and our logo. But if it said, I'll just say Comfort Keepers just because it's a big corporation. So if Comfort Keepers was using it, and they wanted to white label it, then when Odessa came on to all their patients, it would say Comfort Keepers and their logo.
Wow.
So we can do that. So there's lots of different things like that, little things like that we can do to kind of personalize it to the company. And whatever kind of ways they want to personalize it, we can do that.
That is really good. And that's a great way for independent healthcare owners out there. We understand the healthcare market here in Florida, right? We're in like the retirement central of America almost.
We are.
So great way to separate your organization from your competitors. Be the first, right? Be the
Absolutely.
first. Yes.
Well, and ours is separated just because of the fact that most the 2 or 3 others that do utilize the TV, most of those are not HIPAA compliant, which is by law you have to do that, be HIPAA compliant for telehealth visits. And then also because ours has that patented remote that's bigger and has only the 11 buttons.
11 buttons.
That really separates us from everybody else.
Yes.
Comfort Measures Consulting was born from a simple truth. Passion creates purpose. We're here to help aging adults and their loved ones navigate care with confidence. But we also know something else. Entrepreneurship is hard. You're not just the owner. You're the caregiver, the driver, the CFO, the scheduler. You're doing everything. And still, not enough people know about the amazing work you do. Why? Because staying consistent with community engagement and social media is tough. But here's the thing. Social media builds trust. It creates connection. It turns your mission into long-term success. And we see you. We see your passion. We see your commitment to our seniors. And we say thank you. At Comfort Measures, we've expanded our services to support you, helping small independent healthcare organizations grow through digital marketing, local outreach, and powerful brand strategy. Let us help you shine. Let's grow together. Take this for example, an assisted living facility providing excellent care, but struggling with visibility. They had little community engagement, a barely visited website, and few referral connections. But with the right strategy, in just a few short months, awareness grew, the phone started ringing, and new residents moved in. Whether you're a mobile physician, home care agency, or independent provider, we can help your business grow too. Ready to be seen? Call CMC at 850-879-2182 and let's get started.
Yes. But also organization with purpose,
Yes.
that practice what they preach as well. So
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of OdessaConnect. I'm glad that you partners here as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
So definitely glad you joining the show to help spread the knowledge of the wonderful resources of connected families through the largest, video screen in your home,
Yep.
television.
Absolutely.
All right. So going into your professional journey, you made a lot of impact, but also I like this part that you've been an entrepreneur. You've been leading leading by example, but also you took it to the route of, you know what, I'm a business person. I know how to operate as a business. I want to provide care the way that I desire to do so.
Yep.
But first we go back to the Monarch Group, right? Where you won those accolades, Recruiter of the Year, but tell us about that, the origins.
So I started off in recruiting. I was actually recruited to become a recruiter by a recruiting company, and I was their first hire. They were looking for people who had never recruited before, and so I was their first hire, and I was their top salesperson by the end of the first year.
Wow!
And my boss bought himself a Porsche with my last deal. And my ex-husband at the time said, "Did he have anything to do with your deals?" And I said, "No, I did all of it. I negotiated and did everything." And he goes, "Okay, we're going to do it yourself." And so he was the one initially who kind of pushed me into entrepreneurship. I really wouldn't have thought it, but I did it. So I started my own recruiting company, and I recruited for 4 years and was really successful doing it. But after 4 years, I'm dating myself, but that was when Monster and Hot Jobs and all of those came out. And everybody decided that they could just pay one person, $30,000 a year and not have to use recruiting agencies ever again. So,
I remember Monster.com.
Oh, yes. So that was when I actually went and started working for hospice. I got the job at hospice. I started off in HR at hospice, and then I transitioned into patient care, and I worked for hospice for 13 years.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wow. So hospice was my favorite job.
Nope.
So you worked on the patient care side.
Yeah, I worked on patient care side. I was a manager, and I helped schedule nurses to go out and see if patients could be taken under service. And so I helped schedule all of that. And so I was a scheduler, and I also was an admin assistant for the director, and I did a lot of stuff. I wore a lot of hats. Even then, back then, I did a whole lot of stuff. And then in 2019, I just got kind of burned out on doing all of that. I got divorced, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And that was right before COVID, and that was when I just decided, all these people call me day in and day out, and they'll say, well, if a hospice can't help me, who am I supposed to call? Right. And I got that question day in and day out. And I felt so bad for them. And I was like, okay, I live in Florida. I have to be able to start doing webinars or some seminars or something to start helping these people, even if I just help people in Florida. So that's how I really kind of transitioned even into owning my own business. I just thought I would do it locally, and I just kind of started tiptoeing into it in 20. And then by 21 and 22, it kind of grew from there. And 23 was when I ended up getting into radio, and I ended up getting into TV, and then it became even bigger, and it kind of grew from there. Right. So
what's misconceptions that you found about hospice? Like of just that notion that maybe just a community that may not have the knowledge
Yep.
of regarding hospice. What's the
Oh, the
misconception?
biggest misconception about hospice is that you only call them 3 days before somebody's going to die.
Hmm.
And because my dad was under hospice care for 2 years. And I
2 years.
2 years. And I tell people that, and they're like, how is that possible? And I'm like, because as long as the person, so there are certain diseases that are terminal. Like my father had CHF, which is congestive heart failure, and COPD, which is pulmonary disease. It's the lungs. Okay, both of those are terminal, but you can live with them for 20 years. Okay, you can live with them for 20 years. Well, my dad got to where he was declining every day. So as long as you are declining and you have something like that, it's the same thing with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue to decline, then you can be under hospice care. So you can be under hospice care for years as long as you're continuing to decline.
Right. Yes.
And it can really help the family and the patient.
Yes. Yep. So one thing I really enjoyed about working in hospice is really spreading that knowledge and the education piece of it, because I love the fact that a lot of people would be opposed to it.
Yes.
And this is me in my own mind, right?
Yes.
And I had the opportunity to educate them
Yep.
and get them to understand the true value in it.
Absolutely.
That's typically covered under Medicare. Most
Yep.
times it's covered under Medicare.
Yep.
But you have access to grief support right after the loss. So
Yep.
because that's a lot of times the caregivers,
Yep.
right? We think there's a lot of times you have a focus on the patient, right? They're under hospice care.
Yep.
But the caregiver a lot of time has been going through that journey with their loved one for many, many years, as you indicated. So they provide grief counseling, some of them up to 18 months
Yep.
after the loss, right?
Yep.
But there's you have nurses, social workers,
For
right?
sure.
Chaplains,
Yep.
yes. Chaplains, that you have home health aides.
Absolutely.
So many different resources, a hospice care consultant.
Yeah.
So many resources that can that's covered under the insurance, that if anything, I mean, some people I ran into, they say, well, I needed more help than that.
Yeah.
Than the hospice. But guess what? This is services you're not paying for.
Exactly.
Right.
And then the other thing is you can get DME. You can get medical equipment for free.
Free.
You know, I mean, rather than you having to go out and buy it or lease it or whatever,
Yes.
any equipment that you need, a hospital bed, a shower chair, anything at all, a wheelchair, anything, you can get it for free. I mean, and that alone is huge.
Yes, it is. Yes,
I mean, it really, really is. So I try and tell everybody, I always tell people when I have to suggest to them that they call hospice, I always say, okay, we're going to have the talk. And I need to like burst your bubble about hospice.
Right.
Because everybody's like, hospice, my mom's not dying. My dad's not dying. I know. I'm like, I know. So now we're going to have the conversation, because you need to understand. I agree with you. Your mom may not be dying. When I told my dad I was calling the hospice on him, he said the same thing. He goes, Trace, I'm not dying. I said, I know you're not dying, Dad. But the reality is that mom needs help. And you need help too.
Yes.
And so he told me he would let me do it for my mother's sake. And then what was hilarious was 2 weeks into it, he looked at me and he goes, Tracy, you need to call that hospice nurse. I need her to come over here and check on something. I'm like, oh, the one that you didn't want me to call before? Now you want me to call her. So
I used to tell people, and a lot of times when I have my introduction calls with families, I would tell them, I say, hey, I'm a mama's boy. You know, no one likes the mama's boy, I guess. But I'm a mama's boy, and I would place my mom on hospice. I love my dad too. I would put him on hospice services as well. Yeah. So it is a wonderful benefit, and why not have an option to additional services that can support your family overall? Absolutely. And that this just doesn't focus on the patient, but also the caregiver. Absolutely. And like you said, that DME equipment, to have that a new mattress arrive at your air mattress arrive at your house, a bed, functioning bed that could elevate the patient, as need be. All of those things are very beneficial when you're providing care to your loved ones. So, but thank you for sharing that and your journey as well. Can you share the challenges and rewards of balancing entrepreneurship?
That's a good question, because that's hard. I mean, that is really hard. I heard a woman once say that there is no work-life balance, and I almost have come to believe that. The thing is that it can be very, very difficult. When especially when you're a caregiver, you already are not thinking about yourself because you're constantly worried about your person. And so I was having to balance between worrying about my mom and trying to run my own business. And that it was crazy. I mean, it was a really, really crazy 3 years. And it really, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of nights of, am I really doing the right thing?
Right.
And you really do. You kind of question yourself of like, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Because you love the person and you absolutely want to do the best thing for the person, but then you love what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing. So it is a very fine line.
Yes.
It is a very fine line.
I always say entrepreneurship is an emotional roller coaster.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Roller coaster. But
amen to that.
I want you to tell me about caregivers, caregiving worldwide.
Sure.
Network. All right.
Okay, so Caregiving Worldwide Network was a TV show, a couple of TV shows. They're actually still out there. If you have a smart TV and Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can add the RHS TV channel. RHS TV channel. That stands for Red House Streaming TV. And you can go on there and you can see the shows called Caregiving Worldwide. And you can also see shows called Safe and Sound. Safe and Sound was my second series that I did. And Safe and Sound actually showed several different types of products that are fantastic for people aging in place at home. Phenomenal products.
Right.
And so those are all still out there, and you can still go out there and see those.
And I know you indicated your caregiving journey was 5 years, right? I made this show and this platform to provide knowledge and resources for people that are in the moment.
Yep.
And that's what I really want to them to take advantage of those resources when they can use them. Because a lot of times you get so, I guess, into it, and I just only hear the stories. I used to hear the stories all the time in working in the skilled nursing setting. That you don't really think about anything outside of that.
That's very true.
Really so.
Very true.
But going into that, so let's educate key signs a caregiver needs a professional help or a break. What are some signs you could think of?
I can absolutely tell you a couple of things just that I should have done and I wish I would have done, but I didn't. One would be when you just get so tired, you can hardly see straight. It's just you're so mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. You need to go and, if nothing else, call a friend, call a family member, call a church family member, or go to you could call hospice. Hospice will take you into respite care for a few days. But get you some respite. Get you 2 or 3 days to where you can just breathe. Right. Because you really need to just take a time out and breathe, because everybody needs that. Because it's like my mom finally said to me, she said, "Traci, if something happens to you, what's going to happen to me?" And you really do have to remember that, because you've got to take care of yourself in order for you to take care of them. And if you don't, then you're in trouble. So I would say that. And then I would also say, just try to remember that as tough as it can be at times, it's tougher on them because they know they're dying. They know that they've got a limited amount of time left, and so they can't change what they're doing or what's going on with them. They can't change that. So as hard as it is at times, and God knows I didn't always remember this, but try and remember that it's worse on them than it is on you.
Right. And so it's a balance of responsibilities with self-care. And if you have someone out there in your life today, out in their audience, I'm speaking to you, that that is taking care of their mom or their dad, be that resource for them. Be that person that holds them accountable as well for self-care. let them know that it's okay to take a trip. It's okay to have a girls' night out.
Yep.
Because what happens is, and this is all me, I haven't had the journey yet, but I sympathize for people that are in that situation. I really do. But allow them to know it's okay to take those breaks. And that respite care, as you
Yep.
mentioned, a lot of time insurances actually,
Yep.
they provide respite care a certain number of days per month in which your loved one can go and stay at a skilled nursing facility a few days, a week or two, whatever your insurance allows. You can call your insurance provider to find that information out.
Yep.
That way you could go on a vacation, right?
Yep.
You have the area on aging.
Yep.
Actually, they have resources for you as well.
Yep.
Groups, community groups
Yep.
for individuals like yourself, but you don't take the time and look at it when you really just focus on providing the care and focus on your loved one. But I challenge you, if you have someone like that in your life, a colleague, share this information with them. Okay. It is a hard journey, and the statistics actually slipped my mind now, but there's a statistic out there where caregivers actually pass away before the person that they're caring for.
Yes.
All right, it's a serious statistic. I'm sorry, I don't have it with me right now today, but you can Google it.
There you go.
The numbers and the percentages there, and it's not a low number either. So please take advantage of those that as well. So what's next for you, Miss Traci Lamb? Moving forward, thinking about the future. I know you had a big life event here this year in January.
My mom passed away in January, and so
it's like a new beginning, a new.
It is. It's like kind of been like a reset for me.
Yes.
So in mostly good ways. I miss her like crazy, but but I do. But it's been good. Next for me, honestly, is just really to continue, just keep working and promoting OdessaConnect. I just went to a conference with them a couple of weeks ago. Some really, really phenomenal things are already starting to happen. Like I say, this gaming thing is coming out. I just found out last week. And I'm really, really excited about what's going on with all of that. I love the product and I love what I get to do with all of that. So it doesn't feel like work. Right. I just get to have fun doing what I do. So for me, that really is like a bright light for me for the horizon and on the future.
All right, so OdessaConnect TV, if you could tell us where they could go to find more information regarding OdessaConnect. Yes.
Absolutely. So the website is www.OdessaConnect.tv, and that's OdessaConnect.tv, and you can see it on there. You can order one through there.
Yes, you can.
You can do whatever you would like. If you have any questions, I'm sure Norman can get you my phone number or my email address, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Norman can answer questions for you too, because he knows a lot about OdessaConnect.
Yes,
but it really is a great product. I highly recommend it. Like I say, my mother was 84 years old, and she was starting to have some cognitive issues, and she absolutely loved it. She could easily use it. And it gave me peace of mind, because when I would go out of town, I could call her on the TV. It was great, and I could see that she was okay, and it was awesome.
Right. OdessaConnect bringing peace of mind to families worldwide, nationwide.
Yep. And it's fixing to be worldwide. We're fixing to go to Australia. So
we're going to Australia, baby.
Absolutely.
So I thank OdessaConnect for believing in the vision here of Comfort Measures Consulting, and being a partner of Comfort Measures Consulting and the Let's Get Comfy podcast. If you have any family member that you want to connect with, right? If you want information, please reach out, 850-879-2182. You can also find me on Facebook, Comfort Measures Consulting as well. So I'm here for you, here for your families, providing a way where you can stay, connected, but also you have an option to check the vitals, check their health, right? With that remote patient monitoring feature that OdessaConnect have. As she indicated earlier in the show, you also have an opportunity to play a little games, right? We're adding our interactive activities in OdessaConnect. Once again, all through the largest screen in your home, TV. All right. So, Ms. Traci Lamb, I thank you for joining me today.
Thank
Any
you.
final words for our audience today?
I would just say thank you again for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I'm very blessed to have gotten to meet you, Norman.
Thank you.
And
Same here.
I am super excited for being here. And I would just say, if you're a caregiver, keep on doing what you're doing, and keep on looking for it. And if you need more resources, again, I can connect with Norman, or I can connect with you. There's lots of resources out there that can help you. OdessaConnect is just one of many, but I can definitely connect you with more resources that can help you with home.
Thank you. I am someone that has the sympathy and empathy to understand the caregiver's journey. However, I have not had personal experience. Ms. Traci Lamb here today shared her personal story as a caregiver. She's telling you the time that she had this, what she lost, right? She's telling you how self-care was put to the side, right, in the back burner, and now she's almost having to reset.
Yep.
Utilize your resources while you're in it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining us here at the Let's Get Comfy podcast. I hope you was able to gain wonderful knowledge and resources that you can benefit from, or someone in your immediate community. Share it with them. Be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We're also on all of your podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check us out there. Till next time.